Field of 68 after dark. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what was supposed to be the Monday evening edition of the Field of 68 after dark. It is now the Tuesday morning edition of the Field of 68 after midnight. My name is Rob Dauster. I'm joined here by Matt McCall and Norm Roberts, two guys who took a team to the Elite Eight early back in 2012, I believe, as assistants on Billy Donovan's staff at Florida. We had a lot to talk about today. It was the first real day of Feast Week that it really felt like Feast Week. College basketball started at 11 a.m., and we have games just now tipping off after midnight in Las Vegas. Got to talk about the Maui. We had a major upset. The first unranked team to beat a ranked team happened today, and it was not the team that I think any of us expected, certainly not our own Matt McCall. We had a thriller between Iowa State and St. John's. We had a thriller between Houston and Syracuse. Tahad Pettiford finally showed up, and we have to ask my man Norm Roberts about Flory Badunga, who went for 18-9, 5-5. All of that's coming up later on in the show. We're starting with what was probably expected to be the game of the night, and I don't know if it quite ended up being the most exciting game, but I think we learned a lot about number 12 Gonzaga, who knocked off number 8 Alabama, 95-85. I'm coming to you first on this one, Norm. It feels like this Gonzaga team, they're ranked 12th in the country right now. That feels way too low for a team that is as old as they are, that is as talented as they are, that is as good defensively as they are, and that has figured out, I think, a point guard in Mario St. Superi. I hope I got that name right.
You know, I thought he played really well, Super D, if that's how you say the name. I also thought Venters played very well. He had the ball in his hands quite a bit and made some big plays at the end. Those two big guys, Huff and Ike Graham, those two guys are beasts inside. I mean, they are really hard to handle. Huff can shoot it from the perimeter. Ike now can make some shots out there, but those guys seal you. They know how to play big to big, and they can play with a smaller guy underneath them. And because they have shooters around them, which gives them space, they're very, very hard to guard.
McCall?
First of all, wasn't Goodman supposed to be on this? What is he, like, playing blackjack right now? He's out in Vegas, just like hanging out. Like he's not going to work tonight. Like, are we in the afters right now? Are we in the afters? Is this only going to last like 30 minutes so I can go to bed? No, I mean, if you look at it too, this Gonzaga team and what they did in this game, and I think watching that game, none of us would be surprised if both these teams are playing for the national championship with how a high level of a basketball game that was. Gonzaga dominated points in the paint and they dominated the backboard. And ultimately that's what won them the game. You know, Alabama shoots over 30% from the 3-point line, but it was down in the trenches, which, you know, got Gonzaga this win. I mean, it was impressive to see the balance that they have on both ends of the floor. But that was it. I mean, 95 points, you know, and I mean, we know Alabama's one of the best, if not the best offensive team in the country. And to outscore them the way that they did was really, really impressive. But I think just the trenches, the game, out-rebounding them and then dominating the points in the paint was the difference in this basketball game, in my opinion.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that, Matt, because I was going to bring up that I thought that not only did they dominate them offensively, they also did it while controlling the tempo and keeping Alabama from being able to turn this into a game that went like this, which is like being able to run your offense and put up points and also making sure that the game is slow when you're playing Alabama. That is a very, very difficult thing to do. And that was the thing that I think impressed me the most about the Zags tonight.
And Norm knows them.
Yeah, and Norm knows him too. Like Tyon Grant-Foster, man. Like I called a couple of his games 2 years ago out in Arizona at Grand Canyon and the Arizona tip-off, and to see what he's still doing and to get an extra year of eligibility. I mean, the guy takes and makes difficult shots. That's what he does. At his size, the impact that he has out there on the floor, I mean, this guy he's a game changer. I mean, he is a complete game changer. I mean, I remember, you know, picking them in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago when he was at Grand Canyon to make a run and even get to a second weekend because of him, like because of how talented he is. And you see him out there on the floor and what he's able to do.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Norm.
he's a terrific kid. He's a terrific kid. We got to coach him during the COVID season. I guess that's 7 years ago or something like that. And all that young man has been through in his life. All you could do is want to heap praise on him and be very, very happy for him because he's gone through a lot. I would tell you this: I'm not sure Gonzaga slowed Alabama down as much as Alabama slowed themselves down because with Reitzel being out and Holloway not really helping Phylon much, it became a one-man show for about 10 minutes there, where it was just Phylon coming up, high ball screen, and going to score. And that kind of slowed the ball movement, the drive and kick that Alabama is so good at. So I think they kind of slowed themselves down.
Let me ask you this, Norm, and McCall. I want your take on this too. But Norm, when you were at Kansas, Bill Self is kind of known as like the two bigs, high low guy, right? That's kind of what his thing was in the middle teens, like the 2010s. And I think you see a lot of the same kind of stuff with Gonzaga here. You could play Graham Ike together with Braden Huff, and it works. And it works offensively, and it works defensively, and it doesn't exactly seem like the thing that makes the most sense, right? Like their starters took 12 threes tonight as compared to a team in Alabama that wants to try to get up 40 if possible. Why does it work? Why does this two big system so effective for Gonzaga?
I think one of the reasons is Huff. Huff can play inside and out. He can shoot the three ball himself. Obviously, Graham is trying to learn to shoot the three, but those guys can play off the elbows. They can play inside. They're not just rooted in the paint the whole time. They both run in transition, like you saw tonight. Huff ran in transition and beat everybody down. They can both play above the rim. I also think Gonzaga has been known to have big guys for years. They played two big guys. They've been great at it. Mark Few is one of the best in the country at doing it. So he can still create space through his ball screens, through different movements, pin downs, and those things, so that the floor is still spaced enough for those two big guys to play together.
Crazy when you think about it too. Like watching that game, like what were they combined 17 for 27, the two of them, like combined. Like I mean, the amount of shots that they both take, and the other thing too, and Ike had 11 rebounds, but 5 assists and 2 turnovers. Like when you have front court players that can pass, it changes the game, and that's what those guys can do. They don't turn it over. And they can pass, and everyone else around them understands, like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're running. We know these two guys are the guy. This is who we're playing through, especially in a game like today where you knew that they could dominate the front court. So, you know what? For us to win the game, for us to win this game, we have to play through these two guys because we know how good Alabama's guards are. So let's play through these two guys because this is where we feel like we have an advantage. And that's exactly what they did in this game. That's a credit to the whole team. Oh, okay, we're okay. Like, that's fine. Let's play through these two guys. Like, we'll be unselfish. We'll play through them because we know we have an advantage in the front court. And it played out, and they scored 95 points.
All right, I'm going to make a
statement. And they've learned
to
play that way, too. They've learned to play that way. Because Graham, Ike, he was a black hole when he was at Wyoming. Now, when you threw it into him, it never got passed back out. So that's something that he's really learned over time with Mark Few. He's done a great job with that.
I'm going to make a
when you threw
here.
it to me in pickup ball, Norm. Like when you threw it to me, it was a black hole. It's not coming back. Okay, it's not coming back.
That was true.
These shots aren't going to shoot themselves, McCall. All right. I'm going to make a statement here. I want both of you guys to tell me if you think it's true, if you think it's too early, or if you think it's something that is just, it's possible down the road. Gonzaga is the best team in college basketball this season. Norm?
No, I don't think it's true. I don't think they are. I don't. I actually think Arizona may be. I actually think Arizona may be. I'd have to see if they could shoot it because Gonzaga, look at it tonight. Gonzaga didn't shoot it great. They shot 28%, 25% from the three-point line. They're going to have to be able to shoot it better and understand tonight they were playing against somewhat of an undersized Alabama
Mhm.
team. They played small a lot. So they're going to play against some teams that have some real size in there. So it won't be, you don't have to double, you don't have to trap as much, So I'm not sure they're the best team. I think they're one of the top 5 or 6, though.
McCall?
Yeah, I'm with Norm. It's hard to go against Arizona just in terms of the resume and what they've done. You beat Florida to start the season off. You beat UCLA, who I'm still high on. I think UCLA is really, really good. And then you go into your UConn Huskies and knock them off in Storrs, Connecticut. I can't go against Purdue right now, though. I cannot. I just think the culture that Matt Painter has there, what they have going on to get Trey Kaufman-Renn back, and then hear the comments that Painter had about Trey Kaufman-Renn, even after the game, like, we have to stay focused, we have to stay locked in. And those guards, like, people forget, when those guards were freshmen, when Braden Smith was a freshman, when Fletcher Loyer was a freshman, and they lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament, everybody was on them. And they turned it over, and they didn't play great. And to see where those two guys are at now, it's hard for me to pick against Purdue. I just think the substance, the character, the culture that they have. But I'm with Norm. I mean, I think Arizona's right there. I can't put Gonzaga in that same category. The only other team for me, and I'm not saying this because you're the host tonight, Rob, I do think UConn. I think Coach Hurley knows it, and Jeff Goodman said it on the Goodman Hummel McCall podcast the other day. Like, when he was smirking after them losing to Arizona, knowing they were without arguably their best player and they had chances to win that game. I think UConn's in that same category. I think Gonzaga's up there, but I'm not putting them ahead of Purdue. I'm not putting them ahead of Arizona, and I'm not putting them ahead of UConn right now.
All right, real quick on Alabama. I just want to touch on this. Gave up 20 offensive rebounds tonight to the Zags. Gave up 19 to Purdue. They lost those 2 games. They were able to compete a little bit better against St. John's and Illinois, and they won those 2 games. Knowing that this is a little bit of a smaller team, this is going to be a constant battle for Nate Oates this season, right?
Yeah, especially if they play the 3 guards. If they play Reitzel, Holloway and Philon together, I mean, they're small, and even Taylor Bowl, he's very thin. He's not a thick guy, so that just leaves Sherrill, and he is thick, but he's not the greatest athlete. So they're going to have a problem with that. They're going to have to gain rebound. Their style of play, getting up and down, the attacking may open up some things too, but I think that's going to be a problem for them all year, but they can overcome that because of the 3-point shooting and the way they can spread you out and the way they get to the free throw line. I think they can overcome some of that, but it is going to be a factor for them the whole year.
Yeah, McCall, I just want to hit you real quick on one other thing with Alabama, right? So we know why the Zags schedule the way that they do in November. It's because of the conference that they're in. Alabama's in the SEC, and they're going to have as much of a kind of a rugged conference schedule as any team in college basketball this season. They just played right in a row, St. John's on the road, Purdue at home, Illinois in Chicago, and Gonzaga in Las Vegas. Great for the sport. Great for us. Gives us
great for the sport. Great for the sport. Great. Great for the sport.
Is this the best way to kind of build your non-conference schedule, though?
I think it's a way for Nate Oates. I mean, he's not going to shy away from anybody. He's not going to shy away from any competition or playing against anyone. And I think it's going to prepare them for when they do get into the dog days of January and February. Like, I really do. Like, I believe that. Like, he's secure in who he is. His job's not on the line. He's not on the hot seat by any means. And he's also trying to create buzz around college basketball by playing all these games and prepare his team to when they get into the NCAA tournament and the game gets tight. Hey, fellas, guess what? We already did this. Like, we've been here before. Like we know what happens when it goes well. We know what happens when it doesn't go well. Like we are prepared to play in this moment. I'm with Norm just in terms of like for this team to win a national championship. Like even look, you look at tonight. What were they 16 for 23 from the free throw line? They shot 61%, and they lose by 10. Like make a couple more free throws, and maybe this game's has a different outcome. But I do worry about the physicality, but they're going to play hard. They're going to play really, really fast, and the pace is there, and they're going to be battle tested. At the end of the day, they're going to be battle tested from the schedule that they're playing. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like Nate Oates, Danny Hurley, like it's insane. Like Purdue, like all these teams that would like the schedule, the non-conference schedules that you're playing. And you look at some of these other teams, like are you going to be ready to go? Like are you going to be ready come conference play? Because these other guys are playing these high level games.
Yep, I think you see it too with like that. You go from playing these high level games and playing a bye game. You get some performances where maybe teams sleepwalk. We've seen that a couple times in the last couple days.
Yeah.
I want to pivot. Iowa State, number 15 team in the country in the new AP poll, outlasted St. John's 83-82 tonight. 23 points for Milan Momcilovic. Taman Lipsy went down with what they termed lower body injury. He was grabbing his groin. I know he had a groin injury last March. All we got from TJ in talking to him, Goodman talked to him after the game, is that it's day to day and it's a lower body injury. They don't really know the seriousness yet. So I don't want to speculate too much on that. But I do just want to, Norm, you've coached against these guys before. And I think it's really impressive that TJ went in there off a season where they went 2-22 in the COVID year. So you got to give, Steve Prohm a little bit of a, that wasn't the easiest time to coach, but 2-22 season, 0-18 in the Big 12. He comes in, make the Sweet 16 year one, their 6th seed year 2, Sweet 16 year 3, make the tournament again year 4. And then, hey, look, they're back to being a top 10-ish, top 15-ish kind of a team. How was he able to turn this thing so quickly?
He's a stud. TJ is a stud. He is a really, really good coach. And I tell you, he's got a culture there on how they're going to play. They're going to defend. They're going to rebound. They're going to shoot threes. They're going to execute. He has some things with the guys know they're going to get after it defensively. They're going to be in gaps. They are the best, and you saw it today in their game. And we used to talk about this at Kansas all the time because I scouted them the whole time I was at Kansas. They are the best wall-up team in America, the best. So what they do is they make it look like they're going to foul you, and they don't. They get their hands up behind their ears, and they wall up and they do foul you, but they foul you with their body. So the referee can't call it, but it keeps you from shooting an easy shot over there. And if you remember in the game, there were 2 or 3 plays when it got tight at the end. I think Sellers drove in there one time. It might have been Zuby drove in there another time. And they just walled up, and they could not finish the play and score over top. They're the best at doing that. And he's good at retention, keeping his guys. Lipsy, Jefferson, McKellovich, that Dirk Nowitzki 1 foot. Hey, he does that. That's his shot. That's not like some lucky stuff. That is what that guy does. And if he can shot fake you and step sideways, right or left, he is going to make that 3, which he did today. And he played terrific, So he's done the same things year in and year out. He's got some beliefs that he's going to stick by, and I think it's done really, really well for
him. McCall?
Yeah. Do you think Zuby knew how much time was on the clock when he took that shot? Like, I'm just saying, the last possession, he sets the drag ball screen and he pops back and he catches it. Like, I think he had an opportunity to take 1, maybe 2 dribbles and go into a dribble handoff. I think he panicked. a little bit, because there's no way that Coach Pitino, that was the shot that they wanted to end the game. So I was a little bit shocked at that, because when you look at the stat sheet, I mean, it was nick and tut. But like, I'm with Norm just in terms of what Coach Otzelberger's been able to do there since taking over the program, and the amount of wins and everything that he's done it's really impressive. Like, it is really impressive, and how they play, the pace that they play on the offensive end of the floor, how hard they play on the defensive end of the floor. It's super impressive. But I'm just going to that last possession for St. John's, and you're like, okay, it's a drag pick and roll. Zuby pops back off the drag. Like, there's no way it was a pick and pop situation to let this guy shoot a three. Like, there's no way that was – I don't think he knew how much time was on the clock. I think he could have gone into a dribble handoff on the other side of the floor, and maybe they could have gotten something better. But St. John's will be fine. Coach Pitino will figure it out, but you have to give this Iowa State team a ton of credit and what Coach Otzelberger has been able to do since he's been there. It is super impressive.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is Iowa State, Iowa State has been known in the Big 12 to shoot threes, because Hoiberg was there. Shoot threes, play fast, and all those things. But you always felt like, well, we can score two. We're going to score two against them. When TJ took over, that changed. They became very, very good defensively. Very good defensively. And you see that during the year. Now, I mean, they get more deflections and steals. Now, they didn't get a whole lot of that today, but they get a ton of that because they play in the gaps, and they're tough, and they're very, very physical.
Yeah, and they got two guys in Momcilovic and Joshua Jefferson that are scorers, are big. They give you different looks because they can score different ways, even if they're not the most athletic people in the world. And I think specifically with Jefferson, just like his ability to pass at the four spot, I think opens up a lot of stuff. Let's say hopefully that the injury that Lipsy has is just something that'll be like a short kind of a thing, right? Maybe he doesn't play the rest of this tournament, but he's fine by the time you get to the other side of Thanksgiving. But if it is something that is a little bit more significant, Norm, how big of an impact is it losing Lipsy for Iowa State? Like, what is it? I don't think people really appreciate what this guy does for that program.
It is huge, huge. He is the key. He is the heart of that team. He's been that for a long time. Even when he was a freshman, he was one of the best rebounding point guards we had ever played against. I mean, that was in our scouting report, was to block him off as the point guard, because he's the best at running down balls. He actually was a football player too. He's tough. And the thing I give him so much credit for, Lipsy, is 2 years ago, he couldn't shoot. You wouldn't guard him. You'd go underneath every ball screen against him. Now he's shooting threes, so he's really developed his game, made his game better, always was a good passer, tremendous defender. He's a big, big key to that team. If they lose him, that's going to hurt them quite a bit, I think, quite a bit.
McCall, just real quick on St. John's. Ian Jackson, 16 minutes. Dylan Darling had 5 fouls. He played 24 minutes, and he was fine, but it wasn't really anything impressive. I have very real concerns about the point guard situation and how that's heading. And then when you combine that with the fact that they gave up 83 points in 69 possessions tonight, they gave up 103 to Alabama. It feels like they don't really have an identity yet, which feels weird for a Rick Pitino team that is supposed to be a top 10, top 15 kind of a team.
I couldn't agree more, and even though Bryce Hopkins has 16 points and 7 rebounds and 3 assists, he goes 10 for 10 from the free throw line, just 3 for 10 from the field. It's like, what's his role? Like, how are they utilizing him? Like, where do they want to play him? Like, do they want to play through him on the offensive end of the floor? Do they want him to trail the play and reverse the ball through him and let him initiate offense? Zuby Ejiofor is, one of the best, if not the best player in the Big East. So how do they establish him? And is he going to play on the perimeter? Is he going to play on the inside? Can they dump it into him? So I think the defensive end of the floor is the biggest question mark, especially with a Rick Pitino coach team, with his identity and how tough-minded and defensive-minded his teams have been, and to see what Alabama did to them in the Garden, and then to see them give up 83 points today it's a little bit of a head-scratcher. But we all know that he's in there, his entire staff's in there. They're all breaking down film right now. They're going to be ready to go for the next one. But I think you bring up a good point, Rob, just in terms of the identity. Like, who is this team? The point guard, position, everyone wants to continue to talk about. Like, oh, St. John's doesn't have a point guard. Can they win a national championship? Can they get to the Final Four? But I think it's the defensive end of the floor. I'm with you that they got to figure that out, because they can't continue to give up 80-plus points in the Big East and think that they're going to, compete with UConn and win a Big East championship and get to a Final Four. Like, they got to start holding teams in the 60s if they're going to get to where they want to get to and where we all think that they can get to, because of who's over there on the sidelines calling the ball plays.
Where does that defense start from? It usually starts from your point guard. You want your point guard. If you watch tonight, at one point, he put Mitchell on Lipsy. He had Mitchell guarding Lipsy to try to put some pressure, length, stuff like that on him. So usually we all say this as coaches, hey, it starts with our point guard. Our defense starts with a point guard. So it is going to be a concern. Now, I think Mitchell's a terrific defender. So he's a guy that can really help him on the defensive end and everything. But I also think how fast they're playing and getting up and down and shooting it quick and those things, it's going to leave from some opportunities in transition for people to go score. And they have played against some good teams.
Yep, that is true. Jeff Goodman was in attendance for this game, and he did actually decide that he was going to step away from the blackjack table and find it in his heart and in his soul to be able to do a little bit of work today. So we caught up with TJ Otzelberger earlier tonight for a whole 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Let's get to that interview.
All right, TJ, big win, 1-point win against St. John's. I mean, this was, to me, a typical Iowa State kind of gutsy, tough effort. I mean, you out-rebounded St. John's. They're huge.
Yeah, really pleased with our guys' effort on the glass. We challenged our team at halftime. To win the rebounding battle, we'll win the game. We had 17 offensive rebounds. Blake Buchanan had some big ones late. But that was the battle we knew we were going to have to win to be successful. And not just our bigs, but our guards, everybody stepped up for that battle.
You know, Lipsy gets hurt. 2 minutes left. You don't have your point guard against St. John's, the guy who's kind of unflappable for you. How proud were you that you were able to hold on for a win like that without him?
No, it was excellent. I mean, Killian Torrey as a freshman to be the guy at the end of the game that you have on the court as a point guard. I mean, it says a lot about him. And then guys like Jefferson and Milan, you know, veteran guys that we've won games with and have that experience, and they want the ball in the big moment, and they made big plays for us.
Give me what you can about Lipsy. And I know he's been injured a lot over the last year. So when he went down, it almost looked like, TJ, he got hit in the thigh or something and kind of pulled something. I don't know. Do you know anything?
No, I mean, it was just, you know, something, you know, near his hamstring. I mean, it's a day-to-day thing. This is what our training staff told us. We'll get him back to the hotel and evaluate him. I don't know that we've had ample time to really dive into what exactly, you know, it is. So we're going to get back and do everything we can. But I'll tell you this. That dude's a warrior. He's played through some things.
Plays through everything.
He's put his body on the line for this program for 4 years, so we know there's no one that's more of a competitor than him.
For a November win, how big? I know you like to kind of keep it even keel, but, you know, beating Rick Pitino, a Hall of Famer, a St. John's team that has a lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of talent on that team. How big was it? And I know you got another one tomorrow, so it's not like you can exhale too much.
No, proud of our guys, finding a way, right? In the second half, we take pride in the turnover battle. We were fortunate there. We took pride in the rebounding battle. And then we talked to our guys, the more together team wins. And we feel a tremendous sense of pride in our program that we're together and that we do the hard work for one another. And when you do that, you give yourself a chance. And our guys really stepped up and found a way today, and proud of everybody in our locker room.
One of these times you're going to loosen up in the interview.
We'll see.
Maybe. No, you are. One of these times we're going to get you, all right? This is me and you.
You do your background on everybody else.
This is me and you. I haven't gotten you with enough, actually. All right. Well,
Maybe that's more of a you thing.
Listen,
You need to
I've
figure
got
it
a couple days.
Don't deflect on me that you're not, doing your homework.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. With media days and on-site events the last 2 months, travel for me has been crazy. Luckily, I had Huel. This month, Huel launched in Target stores nationwide. Both of their ready-to-drink products are now available. The Black Edition has 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals, no artificial sweeteners, and is gluten-free for under $5 a meal. The Daily Greens Edition, which I have here, peach hibiscus flavored, was developed by registered nutritionists and dietitians with 42 vitamins and minerals and superfoods, with just 25 calories, 4 grams of fiber, and only 1 gram of sugar. When you're busy with work, travel, children, and just life in general, Huel makes sneaking in meals quick, easy, and most importantly, healthy. Pick them up in Target stores nationwide, or if you're a first-time customer, get 15% off your purchase with the promo code F68 at Huel. That's HUEL.com/F68. Welcome back to the Field of 68 After Dark. Here it is, the Monday evening edition. Norm Roberts, Matt McCall. My name is Rob Dauster. None of us forgot to take off our media credentials as we are here on the show right now. Unlike
that was unbelievable.
That was unbelievable. That was doing
what was he doing? Was he like? Did he think it was like? I mean, was he like? Jeff's never one to like dress up. Like, did he feel like it was like a fashion faux pas? Like, what the heck's going on?
Look,
he did a great job fixing his collar, though.
He did.
He did a great job of doing it.
He did do a good job fixing his collar. Oh, man. The game of the night tonight happened out in the Players era. Houston survived Syracuse 78-74 in overtime. Emmanuel Sharp had 26. He hit some ridiculous shots in overtime, Matt. And then Milos Uzan, 26 points, 5 assists. That backcourt, they didn't even really get all that much from Kingston Fleming, so I think has probably been their best guard so far. So, Matt, what do you make of Houston? Are you worried at all after seeing them struggle, down the stretch? They blew an 11-point lead in the last 3 minutes, which is like the most un-Kelvin Sampson-like thing a team can do.
I don't know that we can ever say that we're worried about Houston, especially since what they've done, even like since they joined the Big 12. Like, are we worried? Okay, it was a one-possession game against Auburn. Okay, this game came down to the wire a little bit. They gave away a lead. If you're Syracuse and you're Coach Autry, you're sitting here saying, guys, we just lost to the number 3 team in the country, and we went 12 of 29 from the free throw line. Like, we should have won the game. We went 12 of 29 from the free throw line. We should have won the game. I'm not worried. The thing about Houston is, and this is not the case, and Norm can speak to this because he's been in the league with them the last couple of years. Guys, let's just get to March. Let's get to the Final Four because we're going to get there, right? Like, we're going to get there. With Milos Uzan and Emmanuel Sharp, like, we're going to get there. And Sharp's so good. He goes for 26 tonight, 11 of 12 from the free throw line. He is outstanding the way that he plays the game. Like, guys, we'll be fine. Let's just get there. And I know that's not the mentality in that locker room, but that's also the human nature piece of it where, hey, let's get to Big 12 play. Like, we'll be fine. Let's get to the NCAA tournament. We'll be fine. Like, we're going to get to the Final Four. Like, that's that human nature element. But I mean, they've been in some close games. This was a close game again, but I look at it on the other side in terms of Syracuse. Like, this was a statement win, and they had every opportunity to win this game. And to see what they did at the free throw line, if you're Coach Alter, you're like, man, that's one of those nights where you stay up all night as a head coach, and you're like, man, we should have got this one. This would have been a big one for us, and we should have gotten it. I look at it at that side of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the hard part, right? Like, is his feeling? Are you upset because are you probably sick to your stomach because you feel like you should have won this game, or are you sitting here happy and excited because like all this stuff that we did, like it's there?
No, you're not happy and excited. No, you're sick to your stomach. You're sick to your stomach. There's nothing happy and excited about it. There ain't no moral victories, especially when you're the head coach of Syracuse. Like there's no moral victories. Like the standard is Final Fours and national championships. So you're sitting up, you're up all night saying we should have had this one. Now we got to respond and we got to get back to work tomorrow. But you're sitting there like, man, we had this game won. Like this should have been ours if we made free throws.
Yeah, well, as the UConn fan here on this podcast, I must make sure to correct you and say the standard for Syracuse is national championship, singular, not plural. McCall, they got the one. Just gotta fact check you on that national championship.
Okay, sorry. Final Fours. Final Fours.
There you go. You can have that one. Norm, is it true that that you decided to retire because Kelvin Sampson came into the league and you're like, fuck it, we're not going to be able to win any more Kansas?
No, that wasn't the reason why. But I would tell you one thing. I think they've got a great program, and I would differ a little bit with what Matt said. I do think Red Autry will go back, and he is sick to his stomach. But I do think he's going to go back and sit down with his guys and say, "Hey guys, we got something here. I think we got something here. I think we got a chance to be pretty good." I think he will say that. Now he is sick to his stomach because he had a chance to win that game. But I think he'll feel that, hey, we got some guys that I can get in a foxhole with, and that are pretty tough. And I think we got a chance to do some good things. But I do think this about Houston. I think Houston is very good. I think they're an excellent team. But they have got to get consistent scoring from their front court. They're going to have to get that. And I know Tugler is not a scorer, but either by throwing him some lobs, setting him up where he's getting some angles, those type things to score, that's going to be important for them because they're going to need something for them, because you cannot ask Sharp and Uzon to play the way they play tonight every night, because they made big shots, big plays. You knew the ball was going to be in their hands at the end, and freshmen are going to be freshmen, So CNAC does nothing, and then he goes on an 8-0 spurt where you're like, oh my God, he's the best guy in the gym. Fleming obviously has played great these past few weeks, but, he's going to have some ups and downs. They're probably also going to need somebody else coming off that bench to maybe help them in some ways too, because that's going to be important for them. But I thought, they made big shots. You knew Sharp was going to make big shots. You knew Uzan was going to get to his midi, or he was going to make a big shot. But you can't expect them to do that every single night. And I guarantee you, the other team they're playing is not going to go 12 for 29 from the free throw line on every single night that they play.
Norm, that's a great point too. Like those two guys taking 32 shots, like somebody else, like for them to win the whole thing. And we're talking national championship, right? They're a possession away from winning the national championship last year. But for them to win the entire thing, those two guys can't take 32 shots. They got to find somebody else. I'm with Norm on that, 100%.
Hey, Roberts, but don't put it back. Roberts was really, really good. I mean, they beat us at Kansas when they were making no shots, and all they did was throw it to that guy on the elbow, and he drove it left 98% of the times. And for whatever reason, he was able to get that ball up and go score. You know what I'm saying? So he was really good. And Cryer was tough to guard because he was constant movement, he was fast, and he could shoot it from 30 feet. So he was hard to guard. So now you're asking Uzan and Sharp to do all those things. That's going to be tough for them to do every single night because I don't really think that's in their DNA who they are.
Well, what I was going to ask you is that I feel like this group specifically is a little bit different than the past teams because it used to be like you would have the point guard and then you'd have two shooters that they would kind of run around and then you would play them with the two big guys, right? And it feels like this year with Fleming's and Uzan, you have two guys who kind of need the ball to be more effective. They don't just have two guys that can run off of screens. Is it a little bit of a different look with this Houston group? And does that matter, I guess?
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right because Fleming likes to have it and Uzan likes to have it in his hands. But that does also make them dangerous too because they can get downhill and they can attack. And Fleming is so athletic. So I think it's just a different way of playing. But, last year they had some guys come off the bench. I can't remember the kid number 8's name who played great for them at the end of the year, who was a really good player for them. And then Arsenault played for them. So they had a couple of guys were able to come off the bench and give them, 8, 9, 7, 8 points. They could do that. They're really not getting that from anybody yet.
Was it Malik Wilson, Norm?
Yes. He was good. He was so good. So when Sharp wasn't going good, they played Malik, and then Malik would shoot it well or get to mid range, and he was a great defender too. So that's something that they're missing. They need that.
So I just got word from. Go ahead, Matt. Make your point.
They need that 100%, but they're also still number 2 in the country in total defense, giving up 53 points per game. So it's like you know what I mean? Like offensively, they're going to figure it out a little bit, but it's going to be a slugfest, And so it's just like we always try to nitpick and see, and now they're going to get tested here. They got Tennessee coming up. They got Florida State, who I think Luke Locks is doing a heck of a job with that program. They got them coming up, so they're going to get tested here. But number 2 in the country in total defense. Like, do you think that will ever change? Like, will they not be in the top 5 in total defense, regardless of like who's on their team, regardless of what league they're playing in? Like, no. As long as that guy's on the sidelines, like, top 5. Here we go, total defense. Let's go.
Yep.
Speaking from an offensive coach too, like, I mean, it's unbelievable.
If you watch them, they do the best job of flying by guys trying to block a shot on a jump shot. And normally they don't foul. They do an unbelievable job at that, coming at you.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. We are going to get to Auburn and Oregon here in just a second, but I just got word from our producer that Jeff Goodman has decided to go to work again. We have an interview here with him and Tyon Grant-Foster. Do you think – I haven't seen it yet. No one's seen it yet. Do you think that he remembered to take off his credential for this interview? We'll find out right now.
We're about to find out.
All right, here with Tyon Grant-Foster, and man, it's fun to see you. It's fun to see you on the court. It's fun to see you playing well. I mean, this team, you played a lot of teams, first of all. How many teams you played on?
4.
4 teams.
Well, 4.
Indian Hills?
Yeah.
Are we including Indian Hills?
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Indian Hills, KU, DePaul. Oh, 5. 5.
So you can't even keep track.
5.
What's it like playing on this team right now? Because it looks like the chemistry's there. You guys have a lot of different ways you can win games. I mean, your bigs were great tonight. Yeah. You were good. You guys out. Like, I don't know. I look at this team and I'm like, where's the weakness time?
Our only weakness is in ourselves. Whenever we don't play hard, like I feel like genuinely like we're one of the best teams in the country, if not the best. Like it's a whole lot of ways we can attack you. Like I think Steele came off the bench, hit 4 threes. Like, I'm saying, so it's just like when it's not your night, it's somebody else's night. So as long as we guard the way we can guard, like this team we're amazing. Real shot.
What was it like for you before the season, not knowing if you were going to play? How difficult was it? Or were you at a point where you were like, hey, if I can play, great. If not, I'm going to move on because I played,
Yeah.
I'm older. I'm 25.
Now, it was actually pretty hard just because you know, everyone, you know my situation, you know everything that happened and everything. So, it was pretty hard, but at the same time, it was easy. Like these guys here, they really made it easy for me. Like they didn't treat me no different. They treated me exactly how they do right now. Like they knew
Really?
I was going to be on the team.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing different. So that really helped me a lot. Like it helped me keep my head on.
How different are you now than you were 2, 3, even last year from Grand Canyon? How different of a player are you, especially with this group?
I feel like I'm a totally different player. You know, um I don't have to ball in my hands every time. You know, I don't have to carry that weight of, doing everything, and I'm not saying that, not knocking GCU. I love those guys, you know.
But you were the guy there,
Yeah,
where you're a guy here.
Yeah.
Right?
So we have a lot of guys here. So it's like I said, when it's not my night, it's a G night. Like first half, I think, like Coach said, I made a couple plays, and then G start making his plays, and then B Huff start making his play. So it's like
you got weapons all over the place.
Exactly. So I feel like this team really helps me evolve my game because like last year I had to use a lot of energy on offense. This year, like I can guard. I can guard the point guard. I can guard the 4-man. I can block those shots. So it's just this team is really helping me a lot.
21.7 rebounds tonight against an Alabama team that a lot of people, I mean, look at what they had done and look at the way they play, right? I mean, they play up and down. It kind of fits you well, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you like playing in this one?
No, I loved it. Played against them at GCU, when we in around 32, I feel like I kind of owed them with this one, and I really, really, really appreciate those guys. G, B Huff, Steele, Ace, J Ward, the whole roster. They really this meant more to me than they actually know, because we almost had them at GCU, and now like I got my get back.
What does this mean to you to be able to maybe finish your career? For people that don't know your road, right? Obviously, Indian Hills, Kansas, you didn't really play.
Yeah.
DePaul, we know what happened there health-wise. And then you go to Grand Canyon, and now you finish your career at Gonzaga. For a team that might be able to get to a Final Four, and dare we say it, win Gonzaga's first. I mean, I think we're going to hear a lot about that now because of how well you guys played. And obviously, you've got to follow up on this. And not take a night off and not probably start listening to people like me say how good you are right now.
I feel like that's all true, but I feel like we know how good we can be. So I feel like when people tell us, oh, we're this good, we're not gonna take a night off. Yeah. Like a lot of us, like the leaders we have with G, B Smith, me and G, like this is our last one. Like we have nothing less after this. So
you sure?
Just
you have one more left?
Nothing. We got nothing left after this. So it's like, man, like we going to practice every day. We going to like this. We got meeting tonight. Watch Maryland games. So it's like, we going into all this like it's our last one because it is. Like we're not taking any days off.
Always great to hear from Tyon, who's a very easy kid to root for, given his story. Apparently, Josh Pastner just got teed up in the Maryland UNLV game because he found out that Jeff Goodman decided he wasn't going to show up, and he is now going to the blackjack table instead. Actually, what happened was I watched it. He punched the scorer's table because he was mad at a play that his defender made, and the ref thought that he was mad about the call that was made there. So Josh Pastner got teed up. I'm sure there are a lot of flipping A's that were mentioned there. No curse words coming from Josh Pastner.
Have you ever heard his voicemail? Have you ever heard his voicemail?
No,
I don't think he's ever yelled at a referee. You've never heard it? This is Josh Pastner. Today is a great day. Like, there's no way he's yelling at the ref. Come on. What are you getting teed up for? What are we doing?
He can't punch the scorer's table, McCall.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Yeah, Josh Pastner, former Field of 68 alum, back in the coaching
ranks. 68 guy.
Yeah. Number 21, Auburn, 84, Oregon, 73. I think the big story here, Norm, Tahad Pettiford was averaging 11 points, shooting all of 29% from the floor and 19% from three coming into this game. He had 24, 9 of 18 from the floor, made 4 assists, couldn't really get it going from three, but I think getting him going offensively, this is breaking news here. This is the hard-hitting analysis that you get from Rob Dauster on the Field of 68. Auburn needs Tahad Pettiford to be good if they're going to be good.
Yes, and he was good tonight. He was. He was very aggressive. He was getting downhill. He was getting to his mid-range shot. They were doing some drop coverage with Biddle, which allowed him to snake the ball screen so he could get to those pull-up jump shots. And I also thought he made it a point to try to get the ball to other guys as well. And I thought he played aggressively both offensively and defensively, and he really needed that.
Mm-hmm. McCall?
Yeah, I mean, I love Keyshawn Hall too. What he brings to the table, his physicality. I mean, when he was in the Atlantic 10, he's one of the best rebounders in the Atlantic 10. He goes to UCF last year. He's trying to figure out himself a little bit, and he comes to this program. Bruce Pearl retires, and what's going to happen with him in his last year of college. I mean, that guy's a little bit of an X factor. Like, he is what he brings to the table and the physicality that he plays with. But if you're Oregon, you're looking at it as like, we turned the ball over 18 times. Now, you got to credit Stephen Pearl's defense for that and what they were able to do in turning them over 18 times. But yeah, I'm a big Keyshawn Hall guy. I just think that his size, his physicality, his ability to rebound, and I know he didn't play great tonight, but Keyshawn Murphy, last year at Mississippi State, Jan starts a lot of different starting lineups, and what's my role here? But that guy, man, with his athleticism and ability to switch ball screens and keep guards in front of him, I mean, this Auburn team is for real. They're good. They lose everybody off last year's team. They have a new head coach that's sliding over 8 inches, which is not an easy thing to do. And the expectations are through the roof, especially when your dad is in the stands. I can't even imagine, the pressure that he feels on a night in and night out basis. But this is a good team, and this is a really, really good win for them. And happy for Coach Pearl.
Yeah, let's talk about Stephen there for a second, McCall. I want both your takes on this. Matt, I'll go to you first. He is now about 15% of the way through his first season as a head coach. The opener was a little rough. They almost lost to Bethune-Cookman at home, but they turned around. They smacked Merrimack. They smacked Wofford. They had the ball with a chance to beat Houston. You smack Jackson State, and you come out here and you put together a pretty solid and impressive performance, especially defensively, knocking off Oregon. Where do you stand now on Stephen, and has your opinion on him changed at all over the course of these first 6 games as you've watched?
I'll be 100% transparent. I was a little bit concerned after the Oregon or the Oklahoma State scrimmage when he was trying to take all the ownership and saying, I have to be better, I have to coach better. And I'm sitting there listening to this, and I'm like, hey, man, like, this is your first opportunity to call ball plays. This is your first opportunity as a head coach, and you're taking all this ownership in a scrimmage. Like, it's a little early for that. Like, this is a lot to deal with for him, especially because of what his father created there. And he was a part of it. So let's take nothing away from that as an assistant coach. He was a part of it. Like, he was a big part of it. But it's still a lot. And super impressive to hear, him talk about even that scrimmage of the timeouts were completely chaotic. Like, they were completely chaotic. Like, we'd go into these timeouts and, everyone's saying something, and as a staff, taking ownership in your staff and saying, hey, guys, we have to be better. That's the role of the head coach, and he's done that, and you hear him speak about that. And the other thing, too, that I think is really impressive about him is he's always given credit to the coaching staff. All those guys elected to stay. Not only did all the players stay, but the coaching staff stayed. And that staff has to be connected, because if that staff's not connected and there's one person that's not in line with now him being the head coach, it'll create confusion amongst the team, and that team has no shot. And seeing them play the way that they did today, that shows me that staff is connected and this team has a shot in the SEC.
Yep. Norm?
I would agree with that too. I would also say getting a 5-year contract, make sure the staff knows that you're going to be there. And everybody knows that you're running the show. I think that's very important. I think the administration did a great job with that. I think what happens over time, and it's only been a short period of time, he's going to become more and more comfortable in the job. and he's going to find his own voice, his own way of doing things. Because no matter what, he's taking over for his dad, who's a legend, obviously a great coach. There's a lot of things that he's going to take from his dad, but he's also got to make them his own. And he's got to do his own thing. And you could see that happening, even with the team tonight. I think after they won the game, he was getting interviewed, and the guys were behind him kind of goofing around. They were happy and excited. They should be, And then he went like this, hey, get in the locker room. Let's get this thing going. Let's get off with a serious interview here. And they kind of all jumped, boom, went in the locker room and knew that it was serious. And that's because what happens when you move that 8 inches or whatever over, sometimes kids think you're their buddy. And that's no, I'm not your buddy. I'm making the call. So I'm going to have calls that are going to make you happy and some aren't going to make you happy. And that's something that you have to get across to everybody, not only to the players, but to coaches as well. They have to understand that. So I think he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, I think Norm. I think that is such a good point too, just in terms of like him being who he is. Like he can't try to be his dad. Mm-hmm. Like he can't be that, And I think that's one of the things that makes Jon Scheyer so successful is like he's not trying to be Mike Krzyzewski. He's not. Mm-hmm. Like he's trying to be who Jon Scheyer is, and I just think that is because at the end of the day, if you try to be someone you're not, it doesn't come off real. It doesn't come off authentic, and your players will see through it, and you have no chance at being successful. So put your own spin on it. That is the biggest key.
Yep. All right. We got about 3 minutes before we get to the afters here. So, McCall, I apologize, but we're going ISO on this one. We're going 1-4 low. Norm, Kansas won 71-61. To me, though, the headline, Flory Badunga, 18 points, 9 boards, 5 blocks, 5 assists. He's been awesome the last 4 games. It's been really nice to see him get going. If he's playing like this, when Peterson gets back, what does this mean for Kansas, and what is his what can his impact be, Flory Badunga?
His impact is huge because he's always going to be the most athletic big guy on the floor. And when he plays to that athleticism, running the floor, getting to angles, being able to explode and play over top, blocking shots, running, when he does those things, there's nobody in the country better. And when Peterson gets back, there's going to be a guy that can actually get him the ball some as well, because people are going to be worried about Peterson. And that's because of the way that he can score. So all he has to do is be him. I think he said that in his interview. I just got to do what coach tells me to do. Just be me, play to his athleticism, play with energy, and good things are going to happen for him.
Mm-hmm. Good to see him playing, McCall.
I think it's great to see him playing. But you said you were going 1-4 low with Norm right here. You said we were going 1-4 low. Just let Norm take it. Right? We 1-4 low. Do you know when we used to play pickup back at Florida, Norm would yell at me to go to the offensive glass? Norm, I'm not going to the offensive glass, man.
Yeah, that's true. You never
on the perimeter and shooting jump shots. I'm not going to glass. I'm not going to glass.
The one thing that's happened with Flory is Flory's playing so good, but the other thing is Bryson Tiller is an X factor with that team. When those two guys play like they play together, passing the ball to one another, sharing the ball, and both attacking the glass, they're a dangerous team. Now, if they can make some perimeter shots, I know I'm harping on it. If they can make some perimeter shots, it would just open up everything for everybody.
Hey, Norm, how pumped are you to see Trey White get his nose basically broken clean off and then get back in the game after having his jersey complete?
That's a Norm guy.
I loved it. I loved it. I knew he was going to come. Hey, you know what I was even more happy about? Watching Melvin Council make 2 threes. That was also pretty good. And they needed him.
That's something that you need. Listen, we got a couple more things that we got to hit on. We got to get to Toast the Night. We got to get to the afters, and we got to get to – I got one question that I want to ask both these guys that's going to come up in the afters. Getting there now.
These my DJ Burns things I had for. That was like taking them into the depths of Alaska and just dropping them off.
The first person that's gonna die got to be one of the black guys. We're not gonna make it to the end of the movie.
that's like asking somebody, do they want to get a prostate exam or a damn gunshot wound?
We're back. It is the Afters here on the Field of 68 After Dark. Rob Dauster, Matt McCall, Norm Roberts. We don't have Jeff Goodman. Jeff Goodman called out of sick. He was a no-call, no-show. I believe that he had blackjack-itis. Guys, I don't know if you ever suffered from blackjack-itis, but that is what Goodman is dealing with right now. We had a couple more games that I wanted to make sure that we hit on quickly. We have to talk about Seton Hall, guys. We have to talk about the Pirates.
Here, I had a whole thing planned.
All right, go ahead. You know what? We're going to let Dagan go ISO.
I'm
going
like,
to let Dagan go ISO here. Dagan's bad. You know what? This is Dagan right now is like McCall at the 2012 Florida pickup runs, where we're trying to make something happen. Like, I need my shots, coach. I got to get them up.
I've been waiting all day for this moment. I'm waiting all day for this moment. Not robbing it from me.
I did not shoot more than John Pelfrey. I can promise you that. Here we go.
Well, see, now it's kind of ruined because I was like, I was going to do the whole thing. But I do want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Obviously, nobody was really giving Seton Hall a shot in this game. I've heard a lot of NC State is going to be the favorite. So I just want to, let's give Seton Hall their flowers. We don't get to do it often, so I'm here. I'm ready to hear it.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, what a good win. They're off to a 6-0 start, so you have to give them credit. Shaheen Holloway's doing a great job. And it's a challenging job. There's no question about it with Seton Hall. And his team is always going to have that tenacity, that toughness. And they brought it tonight. And to knock off, a ranked NC State team that, was riding high. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit I picked them to win the Maui Classic last week, I believe, after they beat VCU. So I like what Shaheen's doing. To see them get to the free throw line 24 times, to see them out-rebound NC State by 7. This was a good win. And this is what the Big East needs. They need somebody else outside of UConn, outside of St. John's, at the top of the league. And Georgetown's up there. I think, Georgetown being good is great for college basketball, and I think Coach Cooley's doing a great job. So, can Seton Hall be that next team? Can they finish in the top half, of the Big East? Because that's what the Big East needs right now. So I felt like this is a win that's not only great for Seton Hall, but it's great for the Big East, and that's what they need.
Well, I mean, they lost a close one. The Johnnies did to Iowa State. Creighton lost a close one to Baylor. UConn lost a close one the other night to Arizona. They haven't done a ton in the non-conference. Butler won the I think it was the Greenbrier that they were in. So that was
Greenbrier.
Yeah, that helped. But and Norm, look, I think that I don't think this was a fluke with Seton Hall. I think there's real legs to this. They have length. They have athleticism. Najee Hines is blocking shots and getting rebounds in and around the rim. He's taking up space in the paint. Bud Clark has been really, really good at the point. They have the kind of players that we've seen Shaheen Holloway have success with. And the most important thing is they've scored more than 1 point per possession every game that they've played so far, all 6 wins. They have the 4th longest winning streak in college basketball as of this very moment.
Well, Shaheen, that's my guy. Shaheen's my guy. And they're going to play like his personality. They're going to be tough. They're going to attack. They're not going to take a step back. And probably the one thing that North Carolina State is going to have to get used to with Will Wade getting there now, there's a lot of fanfare. There's a lot of excitement about the program, and there should be. But now that means you're going to get everybody's best, too. They're going to be coming at your head now. And so his players are going to have to adjust to that. But I know Shaheen, he's probably very happy with his guys, but he's looking forward to the next game. And I know when you play against one of his teams, it is going to be a war from minute one. I'm really happy for him.
Are you buying this as something that can last, McCall? Like, is this a fluke? Is this they just caught NC State on the right night, or is there some real legs to Seton Hall being a potential, disruptor in the Big East? Is probably the way to phrase it.
I don't think it's a fluke by any means. I mean, they're undefeated, and you look at their schedule and you're saying, okay, who have they played? Well, they played Wagner, they played Fairfield, they played New Haven, but they knock off NC State. I mean, they're going to get tested against USC tomorrow at 5:00. That'll be a test because I think USC is extremely athletic. I think Muss has done a good job of revamping that roster and trying to get them towards the top of the Big Ten. But we'll find out a lot about this team tomorrow. I'm with Norm just in terms of the fanfare, Coach Wade with NC State, the excitement that he's created around the program. Yeah, you're getting everybody's best shot because guess what? If you're Shaheen Holloway, if you're Eric Musselman, you're going to show some clips of all this fanfare and say, you know what? Like, hey, man, we're going to take these guys out. Like, enough with this. Like, let's go after them. And that's how Seton Hall played in this basketball game. So it'll be interesting to see, tomorrow's outcome. It'll be a good game. But I think we'll find out a lot more about this Seton Hall team, coming out of Maui.
Yep. All right, I got one more thing that we can hit on, and then we're going to have to Jeff Goodman did his job again, and he was able to catch up with the Players Era founder, Seth Berger. So we'll hear from him here in just a second. But I want to start, but before we get into that, I want to ask you guys this. I mentioned Baylor beating Creighton. Baylor has a guy, their best player is Cam Carr. Cam Carr in 2 years at Tennessee played 18 total games. Now, some of that was injury related, and then he left the team in December of last season. So we didn't really see him get a chance when he was healthy. They kind of worked through everything that Tennessee was doing. I know he's not the greatest defender in the world, but this is a dude that's now averaging, I think it's 23 points a game this season. He had 21 tonight. Norm, did you know about this dude? Like, is this something that I just was not privy to? Do I need to check my sources? Do I need to do a little more research? Do I need to watch more film? McCall, like, I feel like I'm the only one that didn't realize that Cam Carr was going to come out here and look like an NBA player from day one at Baylor. I didn't even have him on the list of like the best transfers in the Big 12.
I would tell you this. I did know about that guy. That young man, his dad used to call me when he was a sixth grader and tell me my son is going to be really good and that he was going to be real good. And the kid used to call me. The kid at that time was only like 5'8" or 7. But the dad kept saying he's going to grow. All my kids grow late. They all grow late. Well, obviously this guy grew late and he got better and better. He went to, he was at Link. He played good at Link prep school. Then he went to Tennessee, didn't play much and that stuff. And now he's over there at Baylor. But he is a freak athlete. He is a really, really good player. I don't think anybody saw that. I know he got injured when he was at Tennessee. But this guy is going to take the Big 12 by storm. He's going to be really, really good.
Yep.
Very explosive. Very explosive player. Sometimes you find those guys,
Yeah. I'm a Tunde Yesufu guy. That's my guy. I mean, that guy, he just stuffs the stat sheet. Like, you look at it, man. That guy completely stuffs the stat sheet. We're talking about all these other freshmen, rightfully so. We're talking about Peterson. We're talking about Boozer. We're talking about DeBonsa. Like, let's start talking about that guy, too. He goes 4 for 12 from the field tonight. He has 5 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds. Like, this guy is a freak athlete, and he is super high character. So I'm all in on the Baylor Bears and Tunde Yesufu. That's my guy. That's my guy. I think that guy is we need to start talking about him in the same category as some of these other freshmen in the country.
Yeah, he's been terrific. Real quick, I want guys 15-second response from each of you. Is Baylor, should we be talking about them a little bit more, right? They're not ranked. I think it's the first time we've actually really mentioned them on After Dark. Should we be talking about Baylor more right now?
I definitely think we should be. I think they're explosive. They got guys that can shoot it, that can score. The biggest concern with them is going to be size and depth. Size and depth. Right now, they're only playing 8 guys. I know Budo, 6'11" kid is out. He's hurt. I don't know how long. But size and depth is the biggest concern with them. But they are good.
McCall?
Yeah, I'm same thing. Size and depth with them. You know, they're going to line up and play against St. John's tomorrow. We'll see the outcome of that game. We know when those two teams play too, it always seems to come down to the wire. So that'll be a fun one tomorrow. But yeah, we should be talking about them more. I mean, they're undefeated. You know what Coach Drew's been able to do there, all the years that he's been there, and the longevity. It's just, I mean, it's super impressive. You know, tenure, like to have tenure in college coaching. That doesn't happen, and that's what he has. So, yeah, I'm anxious to watch that game tomorrow. But, yeah, we should be talking about him a little bit more, no question.
Yeah, I tend to agree. They're a lot of fun to watch at the very least because Cam Carr and your boy Tunde Yesufu McCall are electric. We got to get to Toast of the Night here. We're going to do that after we hear from Players Era founder Seth Berger with Jeff Goodman.
All right, here with the founder of Players Era, Seth Berger, and year 2 underway. I was here for year 1, and it's bigger, it's better. I mean, it's really good. Like, even I was a little skeptical when I first heard about this. I think everybody was. And year 2, what do you think so far after the first day?
Well, I think, first of all, shout out to the Big 12. Right? We announced our partnership with them today, and perfect is perfect. They go 4-0 in a day.
Yeah.
Right? They win an incredible game over at MUA when Iowa State beat St. John's. Houston wins in overtime. Kansas and Baylor both take care of business. So that's awesome. It's also amazing for me to see a kid that I coached, Jalen Worley, just play a major role for Gonzaga in a big win over Alabama. But you're right, Jeff. I think everyone, with good reason, was skeptical about Players Era last year. I mean, everything that we were trying to accomplish, first and foremost, creating a major national event around college basketball in November, it just hasn't happened before. I think what you're seeing here is the greater the showcase, the greater the opportunity for the players, the greater the event. Like, I think last year was probably you, me, and 2 other dudes sitting front row, right? And this year our floors are all gone. I have no seat on the floor, right? And last year we were like, anyone around here? And it's really wild to see how many people are here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think one of the things that people were skeptical about was like, well, how are you making money and how are you going to pay the teams?
Yeah.
And last year when everybody got that check, you know, the direct deposit or whatever it was cleared, I think that gave it validation last year. And then everybody wants to be a part of this. Give me why you did this, other than the fact, because obviously you founded M1, you've coached high school. So it's like, how did this happen?
Yeah. You know, it's going to sound really corny, and I don't mean to, but it's true. The 2 things I want to do with my life are have fun and make a difference. And for over 30 years, I've done that in the game of basketball. Like you said, founded N1. That was a brand that allowed players, any level, who looked in the mirror and saw basketball players, to represent themselves as such. We gave away millions of dollars to youth-based charities. Sold N1 in 2005. I've been the head coach at the Westtown School for 19 years. I'm making a difference in the lives of young men through the game of basketball every day I can. And then a couple of years ago, this opportunity came up because one of my sons currently was then playing Division I ball. I'd been hit up by an NIL agent who said, let me get your rights for free. And I immediately thought, you know, in this new economy, that credit to Charlie Baker, he's really opened. There are so many people who are going to try to take advantage of the kids. And if you've never been making money before and you make 100,000 and someone takes 50 out of your pocket, you're happy to make the 50. So we said, let's start a company to do right by the kids and meaningfully compensate them for the NILs. And if we do that, we think we can create a major national sporting event. Like March Madness is the greatest sporting event in the history of all mankind and always will be. So let's just start there, right? But I think college basketball is so great that it can have a major national event on the front end. And we can be the bookend and really kick off college basketball with a meaningful event.
Which you've been able to do. And year 3 is going to get bigger with 32 teams over 3 weeks.
Yeah,
a little bit different.
We'll figure that out. Somewhere between 2.
All right, we're not sure.
Right.
We're not sure of all the
specifics.
specifics.
For sure, 32 teams. For sure, there'll be 4 18 groups who play 3 preset games in each of their group play. And then there'll be 4 group winners. As we've got obviously a ton of interest with our media partners. Like, we would never be here without MGM and TNT taking making massive bets on us. And at the same time,
So you want to involve them in the planning part of this.
We believe in loyalty.
Yeah.
And so we have so many media partners that want to talk about players that are moving forward. And each of them will have a little bit of a different schedule, but basically you kind of have the idea is that 32 teams, 4 8-team groups over 2 or 3 weeks in November and early December. And really, if you think about it, the opportunity for each of the teams to play 3 quad ones, win a meaningful championship. I mean, like you see, these kids are playing incredibly hard. Yeah. The coaches are coaching their tails off. The possessions, the execution and decisions of these young men now playing to the last possible seconds in a shot clock. This tournament means something, and it really is. It's amazing to see.
How realistic is it that every top team in the country is going to play in this event in 2028?
Yeah, if you think about with the NCAA tournament and the NIT back in the day, right? It took a little bit of time for the NCAA tournament to become, again, what it is today. So our thing is, I want to have an impact. I want to make a difference. Players Era allows me and our company, my partner in Orifice, to basically create a difference for college basketball players and college basketball fans. Every program is unique. Like, as you know, well, like when I got into this, the wild thing is, like, I know most of these guys from my years as a coach when they recruit my players, but every program has its own individual unique needs. So what might be right for Houston might not be right for Iowa State, might not be right for St. John's. I think ultimately, if we continue to build this event into a U.S. tentpole sporting event, the best teams will want to compete, because ultimately the best players want to be the best events, and the best coaches want to win the best events. And
they also, I mean, let's face it, the NIL component, getting $1 million,
yes,
is huge for all these schools right now that are trying to figure out legal ways to be able to add to their whatever their system is going to look like. You know, whether it's the rev share for now, and we don't know how it's going to look in the future. Right now, so the winner, for those watching right now, the winner of this event will get $1 million
in guaranteed NIL opportunities. So the NCAA and the CSC have actually been great to work with. Like, they've been getting beat up, the CSC specifically, because it's a little difficult. But I think if you think about it, the amount of change in college sports that's happened in such a short time is so immense. And I think I give them a ton of credit for trying to say, how do we move this forward in a space that really has no rules right now? So we got to figure out some semblance where it works for everybody, right? So with the CSC, they're really clear. We're an unaffiliated entity, and yet we want to meet fair market value for all of our kids. So we have a rate card, and they perform NIL activities. They post on social media. And like you said, we're putting, in the first 2 years alone, over $30 million in the pockets of college basketball players. And next year, there'll be at least another 30 more.
That was the founder of the Players Era Festival, Seth Berger. I did not realize that he was also the founder of And One. I remember having about 17 different And One shirts that had like the face, the guy, the outline of the guy with there's like.
Did you have the oversized shorts on? You had the oversized shorts.
I did. I definitely had oversized shorts. Yeah, 100%. I had so many different colorways of those oversized shorts. Yeah. McCall, are you kidding me? You kidding me? I had so many. I had Stephon Marbury And One sneakers too, man.
What are we talking about? Exactly.
What are we talking about? All right, let's get into the toast of the night, guys, and then we can get out of here. What do you got, McCall? Who's your toast of the night?
I'm going James Jones, man. The Yale Bulldogs. What this guy is doing at Yale is so impressive. Continues to win 20 games every single year. He goes down to the Virgin Islands. Got another win today. They go 3-0 down there, 6-1 on the year. I mean, James Jones is one of the best coaches in the country. So my toast of the night's to the Yale Bulldogs and James Jones. I don't have anything to drink, but I'll give you a fist bump.
Toast to that. To the Eli's, baby, New Haven's finest. What do you got, Norm? Toast of the night.
I guess I got to go with since he went coach, I'll go coach too. Shaheen Holloway. I'll go toast of the night to the Seton Hall Pirates. Big win for them. Hopefully they can continue on and get another big win against USC. But, you know, Shaheen's a Queens boy, and that's where I'm from too. So I got to look out for my man Shaheen.
pandering to the producer to try to get more shows. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
I see right through it, Norm. I see right through it. My toast of the night is going to go to Pharrell Payne, who is out there playing again after suffering a knee injury that I thought was going to require an amputation. I thought for sure like his career was done. Maybe his life was going to be over. Who knows? He misses one game and he comes back and plays. It must be nice to be young and in some ways a little bit flexible. So shout out to Pharrell Payne playing there for Maryland. I will not be toasting Trevor Valise, who told me to take Maryland minus a 1.5 before this game. They are down at halftime as we record this. Guys, make sure you come back tomorrow. We're going to be going live at midnight again. Tomorrow's schedule is just as good, if not better, than today's was. We got a number of top 25 matchups. We got Iowa State playing Creighton. We got St. John's and Baylor. We're going to spend more time talking about Tennessee tomorrow because they take on Houston. Same thing with Michigan. Michigan had a 40-point win over San Diego State today. They play Auburn tomorrow. So it'll be a fun day of college basketball again. Feast week is here, fellas. Let's end it with this. McCall, give me your best Thanksgiving side or dish or meal. What is the one thing that you're looking for?
Stuffing. What are you talking about? Stuffing. Yeah, stuffing. Come on. Stuffing every time. Are you kidding me? Stuffing all day, like little gravy on top. You don't like Norm? Come on.
No, I'm a stuffing guy. There's no doubt about that. I would go dessert. I go pumpkin pie with some Cool Whip, whipped cream on it. I gotta have that.
Norm, that's not a side. That's a dessert.
I told you I was going dessert. I didn't want to go side. I'm going dessert.
Norm's got a plate of turkey and mashed potatoes with the pumpkin pie. He puts the gravy on all of it. That's what he does on Thanksgiving. I'm a big. I try not to eat a ton of carbs outside of the big meals. So whenever we have something like this, give me all the mashed potatoes, give me all the mac and cheese, give me all the sweet potatoes, give me all of that, all of it. I'm a 3-plate on Thanksgiving kind of a guy. You know, you don't eat breakfast, don't eat lunch, have Thanksgiving dinner at like 3:00, go 3 or 4 plates, take a nap on the couch afterwards. That's my game plan for Thursday. So hopefully we'll have some good basketball and good football for me to fall asleep to. For Norm Roberts, for Matt McCall, for our producer Dagan Hughes, for Jeff Goodman, who decided to take his credential off when he was at work. My name is Rob Dauster. We'll see you again tomorrow night, midnight, Field of 68 after dark.